What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. And if you ain't with it, you ain't in it. In this video, we're gonna get into something a little bit different than our normal sauce. We're gonna get into a deep dive of the book of recipes made by my friend and I. So don't go out in the stores looking for it because it is not a real book. But if you like it, we might can do a little something for y'all. All right, for real, y'all. Let's get into it.
All right, y'all, buckle up. We're diving into a cookbook that's a little bit different. It's called The Book of Recipes by Sista Tammy and Brother Earl. And let me tell you, it's got more soul than a Sunday morning choir.
Oh, it really does capture that special something about Southern cooking. It's food for the heart as much as the stomach.
And speaking of hearts, the story goes that Sista Tammy and Brother Earl, they found love over a grill, of all things. You know how we do in the South? BBQ ain't a joke.
It's serious business down here, that's for sure.
So picture this young Brother Earl, head over heels, shows up to a cookout with ribs he thinks are going to steal the show.
Oh no, did they miss the mark?
Let's just say Sista Tammy took one bite and knew those ribs needed a little divine intervention. But here's where the real sweetness comes in. Instead of crushing his dreams, she took him under her wing, showed him a thing or two about seasonings and slow cooking.
Now that's what I call Southern hospitality. Turning a potential pitfall into a shared moment.
And that moment, my friend, blossomed into a lifelong partnership. They started cooking together, sharing stories, creating these amazing dishes that are packed with flavor and family history.
It's what makes the Book of Recipes so special. It's their culinary testimony, you could say, even the way it's written. Well, let's just say they add a little scripture to their spice rack.
Speaking of which, I got to ask about this whole culinary gospel thing. I was peeking at their brownie recipe earlier, and it starts with, "And lo, Sista Tammy said unto the people, let there be brownies." I mean, come on, that's hilarious.
It's definitely got that Southern charm, but it goes deeper than that. Food and faith, they're woven together so tightly in Southern culture, and Sista Tammy and Brother Earl, they get that. It's like they're saying, this food, it ain't just sustenance, it's a celebration.
So it's not just about being funny, it's about showing the heart of Southern cooking, their own personal connection to that heritage.
Exactly. It's tradition with a twist, inviting everyone to sit at their table and get a taste of something special.
That makes me even more excited to dig into these recipes, and trust me, we're getting there. But first, I want to know more about how this dynamic duo built their culinary empire, one delicious dish at a time. All right, we talked about their love story, their culinary gospel, but let's be honest, we're all here for the food. And when it comes to Southern cooking, you got to start with the classics. Fried chicken, am I right?
You know it.
Yeah.
And the Book of Fried Chicken 3.14, oh, they really preach about this one.
Preach is right.
Yeah.
Because they literally say, let the chicken soak in buttermilk with a side of patience and prayer.
It's that slow food philosophy. Like, good food takes time, right? It's got to simmer in its own juices, soak up all those flavors.
Reminds me of my grandma. She always said, don't rush the process, baby. Let it all marinate.
Exactly. In a world obsessed with instant everything, there's something really special about taking your time in the kitchen. It's almost meditative.
You got that right. And nothing says, slow down and savor, like a perfectly fried piece of chicken. It's an art form.
It really is.
Yeah.
And speaking of art forms, let's talk cornbread, the Book of Cornbread 5.7. Sista Tammy lays down the law on this one. Cast iron skillet, no exceptions.
Non-negotiable, right.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. A cast iron skillet is like a family heirloom down south, passed down through generations.
It's true. And think about all the stories that skillet could tell, all the meals cooked, the memories made. It becomes part of the food itself.
So true. Like each little scratch and dent on that skillet, it's got history.
Exactly. And when you bake cornbread in that skillet, you're not just making dinner, you're connecting to that history, to all those generations that came before you.
And what better way to honor the past than with a dessert that's all about Southern sweetness? Got to talk about peach cobbler.
The Book of Peach Cobblers 2.9. Sista Tammy claims it launched 1,000 love stories, which I kind of believe.
Okay, yeah, that's a bold statement, but also, who can resist a warm peach cobbler with that buttery, crumbly topping?
Seriously, it's pure comfort food, and they describe it so beautifully. Peaches bursting with sunshine, a crust that's golden and kissed with sugar.
They paint a picture with their words, for sure. But you know what really got me? The line, let the house smell like home.
That's the good stuff right there. It's not just about the taste, but that feeling you get. Certain smells can just transport you.
100%. Like, for me, the smell of cinnamon, it always takes me back to my grandma's house at Christmas time.
Oh, I'm with you there. There's something about the smell of food that just evokes those core memories. It's powerful.
Powerful is the word. And I think that's what makes Sister Tammy and Brother Earl so special. They get that food is more than just fuel. It's about connection. It's about sharing traditions and love.
Totally. And we've been talking about fried chicken, cornbread, peach cobbler. All delicious, but not exactly light. But we haven't heard a word about calories or fat content, have we?
And you won't, because that's not what Sister Tammy and Brother Earl are about. It's about enjoying the good stuff, indulging a little. Life's too short to skip dessert, right?
Preach, sister. Life's too short. And besides, there's always tomorrow to eat your veggies. Speaking of soul-nourishing food.
Have you ever, taken a bite of something and it's just so good, so comforting, that it feels like more than just food?
Oh, absolutely. Like a religious experience almost.
Exactly. That's the feeling Sister Tammy and Brother Earl capture so well. Pure food joy.
It's about recognizing those moments when food becomes an experience, a celebration.
And that idea of connection through food, it really seems to be the heart of their whole philosophy.
Right. Remember how they describe their cornbread brings folks together like Sunday service? Food, faith, community, it's all intertwined.
Just like Sister Tammy and Brother Earl's own story, starting with that plate of ribs. It wasn't about the food itself, but the connection they built over it.
And that connection, that love, it shines through in every single recipe. They're inviting us to slow down, appreciate the little things, and share a meal with people we care about.
Thinking about the book of recipes and this whole culinary gospel, it makes you wonder, what are the recipes that tell our stories? The ones that have been passed down, the ones we make for the people we love.
What's your culinary gospel? That's a powerful question. Everyone has a story to tell through food.
Exactly. Maybe it's time we all channeled our inner sister Tammy and Brother Earl. Write down those recipes, those stories, so they can be shared and enjoyed for generations to come.
What a beautiful thought. A world full of stories told through the language of food.
I'd love to dig into that. This has been such a fun and thought-provoking deep dive. Thank you for joining us as we explored the heart of Southern cooking with Sister Tammy and Brother Earl. Until next time, happy cooking, y'all.
This episode was brought to you by our 2 lovely AI companions. Thank you guys for doing such an amazing job as you always do. Oh, and one more thing. If you want a notification shout out, drop a red heart in the comments, and I'll be sure to shout you out in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.